I wanted to touch on after you go through chemotherapy and your cancer treatments and stuff like that. A lot of the medication that you're on can kind of deplete your muscles, and I remember them telling me that back in 2014, the first time I had breast cancer. Like, I vaguely remember saying like you lose muscle mass and this and that, but I had six chemos and I'd put on 20 pounds, so I wouldn't have noticed if I lost muscle mass or not. Uh, this time around was a little bit different. I immediately, like I had said in some of my previous videos, I just all of a sudden could not tolerate sweets or any junk food for that matter. So I was eating like pretty healthy and not really a huge variety of things either. So I was eating healthy, no junk food. I was walking quite a bit. So I had initially probably lost about, I'm going to say about 12 pounds, 10 to 12 pounds ish. Um, and it was fine. It was over the course of like 3 months or whatever, like, and I felt good. Like, it wasn't like a bad weight loss. I don't think. It was just like I'm not eating junk food and I'm walking. Like, to me, I'm assuming it was a healthy weight loss. And then I got really sick and I couldn't, my taste buds completely betrayed me and everything tasted like stale cardboard. So I mean, it was getting to the point where one day I think I took one bite of my scrambled eggs, and that was it. That was my meal for the whole day. I could not, I just physically could not get food in me. It just was not happening. But eventually your taste buds kind of come back. Like, now, where are we now? December. We're in December, so most things taste pretty normal now. Like, the taste buds come back because I guess technically you get like thrush in your mouth too sometimes. Like, it's like a whole thing. So yes, taste buds are back. Food is good again. Yeah. So sorry, I had a coughing. I knew I was about to have a coughing attack. Um, just dry. It's winter. It's dry. I have to run my humidifier probably. I haven't ran it in a few nights. But anyway, you lose a lot of muscle. And I really didn't notice, but I was walking every day and I was walking the same thing every single day. And yet towards the end of chemo, like, it felt like my muscles always hurt. Like, everything was always sore all the time. And I mean, in real life, when you're not, when you're normal and you feel normal, like, if you do the same exercise every day, eventually you're just not going to feel it, right? Like, it just doesn't, like, your body gets used to it. Your muscles have adapted to it. Like, you've maxed out at that. You probably have to do something a little more intense or whatever. Yeah, for some reason, the same walk that I was doing daily was just like, I was struggling to do it every morning, but I was still doing it because I knew, like, in the long run it would somewhat benefit me. It wasn't until I was in the shower one day and I was shaving my legs because, yes, chemo screwed me because I lost all my eyelashes, my eyebrows, the hair on my head. All the hair was gone everywhere, but for some reason my leg hair kept growing and I had to shave it once a week and I was not happy about that. But anyway, I noticed that in the shower, normally, like, if I flex my leg, sorry, coughing attack again. So normally if I'm flexing my leg or whatever, and I'm shaving my leg, you could see a calf muscle. If I flex my thigh, I would see like a thigh muscle to some degree. By the end of the summer, there was none of that. Like, it was gone, like mush. It was like mush. There was no muscles, and I was using my legs all summer. I was walking, 8 kilometers, anywhere between 6 and 8 kilometers every morning. So I was like, why? Like, how is the muscle, like, they're not joking. It really does deplete your muscles completely. And then I had a PICC line in my arm, so I wasn't already allowed to lift anything over 20 pounds or whatever. And I have, where my bed is, because when you're going through treatments, they do say, like, you shouldn't sleep with your partner just because you are sweating out like chemicals that can actually make people sick. They shouldn't be using your bathroom for the first 24 to 48 hours, like, none of that. So I had moved into my own room, basically, and it's a small room. I turned the room into my walk-in closet. So there's not really like there's room for my bed, but there's not. So I have to I have my bed on a slider, and I have to move it around to get to my dresser, to get to things. And normally I would do it with both hands, and one day I did it just with my left arm where my PICC line was in, and like I had pulled all the muscles just from sliding my bed, which is not that heavy, and I pulled my muscles for like a week. It hurt. Like I was like, "Ooh, did like I do something wrong?" Like I don't know. Anyway, it was crazy. So now it's like, okay, I'm done that. Does it come back? It does, and it'll come back very quickly. I still walk all the time, and I've upped the walking now. Like I don't care if my legs hurt at the end of the day or whatever. I'm doing like 10 to 20 kilometers a day of walking, and but now I'm like, oh, I have like muscle in my thigh and my calves. I can see that muscle again, because it was crazy that it was like gone. I've never not seen a muscle there before, so it was really weird to just have like just like a floppy calf and like a loose thigh. Like I don't know, it was very weird. I also bought these things here. Oh my god, they're all velcroed together. These wrist weights. These I just got from, I was influenced by TikTok and I got these off of Amazon. They're not bad. These are the 2 pound ones. So I will just put these on my wrists when I go for a walk and kind of move my arms around. We have a lot of trails, like where I live is called the Hub Trail. You can go through a lot of the trails where there's no cars or anything. It's like trees. So like there's no one around. So if I look like a crazy person, I'm walking around with my arms, you know, up in the air and like stretching them and stuff with my weights on. I make sure no one's around to see me do it, because I don't want to be like the weird person in the neighborhood. So those are great, the little 2 pound weights, and I've been using them like if I'm just doing housework, like basic tasks. So they've become quite helpful in like rebuilding just like a little bit of muscle in my upper half, because again, I couldn't really use my upper body very much. Like I was pretty much at a standstill this summer with doing things. Usually I love my plants. I love to garden. You're not really allowed to play in dirt because of the spores can make you sick. Or if you get like dirt, I guess, in your, like if you have a cut and you get dirt in it, like you don't have anything to fight off infections and bacteria and stuff like that. So yeah, I was pretty much at a standstill. I didn't move my plants around too much. Normally I like move a bunch of stuff. I had to get my husband to like help me with things, but the little arm weights are really good, because and they come in like 1 pound. I think they're 1 and 2 pounds for that style, like the ones that look like this. I think they only come in 1 and 2 pounds. They're about $40 Canadian on Amazon. Yeah, I think they were like $39.99, something like that. But they're handy. They get the job done. Like I do wear them. Sometimes I forget, but I try to keep them in a spot where I'm like, oh yeah, throw the arm weights on. Especially now. Like I'm not gonna do it in the summertime because you'll just be like too hot and whatever. But for now, that gives me some time to kind of just like wear around the house, and you know, maybe, and when I go back to work in the new year, I'm sure I can wear them to work when I'm like cleaning or vacuuming and doing stuff. I every little bit I'm sure helps, and I'm not one like, I've been to the gym before, I've done all that, but I also like had a neck injury from years ago, so like a lot of stuff does more harm than good. So the little weights are fine for me. I don't intend to be a bodybuilder anytime soon, so those are fine. That and walking is pretty much the best I can do. And that's all I really want to do, because like walking is something I enjoy. Like I the last time I went through cancer treatments and chemo and stuff like that, I joined the gym for a year. I went to the gym and it was fine. I it was good for me, but it's like the getting up, and like I live in Northern Ontario. I'm looking out the window right now. It's snowing like crazy out there. So like getting to the gym is not always easy, and it's not always easy to do in the morning, and like shoveling off 10 feet of snow on your car like just takes up way too much time. I would rather just like walk in my house. At work, I have a walking pad that I keep under my desk so I can get like 10 or 11 kilometers a day just at work, and slow walking, not fast. Like, I know I'm not like running a marathon or anything, just decent, but it really helps. It helps with your energy, and it helps like rebuild that muscle that you lose. And I found all these things to be very helpful for me.